So over the years, what I have learned in market is that there are numerous ways to make money, but the most difficult part is finding what suits you and finding the one sweet spot in which you are good at. Right, so that is the most important part. We always kept on thinking that like we will make money by short selling, we will make money by trading, we will make money by investing in long term. Okay, so वो हमारे पास पूरा खिचड़ी आता है, but we need to separate the main aspect, the wheat from the chaff. What is good for us, what suits us. So over the years, what I have realized is I have a buying basket. Okay, so I buy companies on the basis of four parameters. I have categorized it in four different aspects. Like I buy compounders, but I buy compounders whenever they are at beaten down valuations. Like you can say buying ITC at around 150 levels, or buying United Spirits at around 40,000 crore market cap. Why? The reason is I always believe in compounders because that give me a sweet spot to invest more and give more allocation to that companies which are beaten down, but temporary, not permanently, temporary. So these are just examples which I'm giving. These are not stock tips. So that gives me a cushion to buy the company at a discounted or beaten down valuation in which I can allocate big. Another basket is special situation basket, in which yeah, you will get demergers and spin-offs. One can definitely study the book Joel Greenblatt's. He has uh, means he has put down his notes fantastically regarding demergers and spin-offs. Even Seth Klarman as well. So these are the company which compounds fast. This give you the edge to generate the additional alpha. Not every demerger or spin-off is a special situation, but you need to separate uh, what the what the balance sheet will look like before and after demerger. So that is where the game is, because many times what happens is value gets deep value because of some mutual fund mandates, and because of market cap or small market cap, the people often ignore such companies. So it gives us a sweet spot to generate our additional alpha. Third one is when there is significant change in management, like what happened in Safari. The management of VIP, Mr. Sudhir Jatia, came into Safari and bought a significant stake, or I can say he put his life earnings in that company. So these are the companies in which you need to where you can park your big money, because you know that example Sudhir Jatia, you know that the promoter is having 15 to 20 years of experience, the promoter is having 15 to 20 years of runway, right? So you have a mix of 20 years of experience plus 20 years of runway, plus the person was managing VIP industry, the leader in its segment, one of the leader in its segment, and he's coming and putting his life earning in a company called Safari, okay, which was dying at that time. So you can bet on those things. You can this is just the starting point of picking such stocks. This is not this doesn't mean कि भाई किसी ने ऐसा buy out किया तो आप सीधा उसमें जाके invest कर दो. This is the starting point. So when there is significant change in management, like Apollo Tricodes, you can see APL Apollo guy Sanjay Gupta. He's a brilliant guy. He just bought this a company and he just turned it around, right? So these are the things which attracts me. And the fourth one is mega trends. You can definitely buy banking or life insurance company. Though I'm not holding banking in my portfolio right now, but life insurance. So where you are having structural mega trends, you can definitely buy such companies. So this is the first aspect of investing, that is buying, and I have categorized it in four baskets, which usually where I usually hunt such companies. Another part, one of the most significant learning was to average up. I used to buy companies at one go, but slowly over the years, I realized that if the business is good and if the vision of the promoter is long and it's showing in the balance sheets, then one should not try every time to find new company, but one should build courage to average up their existing holding. To play a long game, it is very, very, very important to identify the tailwinds. Only then you can hold on to your investments. Once you have identified the growth engine which is intact, if it's intact with the company, then it's all about finding which company and which management to bet on. That's as simple as that. Another part is asset allocation. We have been conditioned over the years that don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? We have been nurtured with that. Okay, so many people will say that Warren Buffett has made his money by building a focused portfolio, or Charlie Munger has made his money by building a concentrated portfolio. Then out of blue, a person will say that Peter Lynch was having 1400 stocks, and still he has able to generate exponential CAGR. So, but but hardly few of few people have that kind of caliber to manage such large and big portfolios, having such hundreds or 200 companies. Okay, you just tell me how many Peter Lynch we have. We have only one Peter Lynch. Okay, and the same Peter Lynch has also told that owning stocks is like having children. Don't get involved with more than you can handle. So it is very important to know how many business you can track, you can study, and you can keep a tab on. So mathematically saying, beyond 15 stocks, diversification makes no sense. There is little to be gained for at least an individual retail investor by diversification. Another learning which I have learned over the years is risk taking ability. So never ever test the depth of river with both feet. Remember, not to die out. Markets are all about surviving. If you survive, you will thrive. I remember a few years back when I met Porenju sir. I was asking him about his learnings and his failure rate, and how he's going to plan his future investments now. So he very nicely said, advise me that, I mean, it's all about survival in the market. In a bear run, if you survive, you will definitely thrive. I don't know when your stock will run. That's no one can tell whether it will run tomorrow, after 1 hour, after 1 month, after 1 year. No one knows. But if you survive in this market, no matter what, if you survive in this market, you will definitely do good. Learn from your mistakes, evolve, improvise, adapt, and then overcome. So the art is to put your learnings into action to generate earnings. So I personally never like studying so many books, but learning is very beautiful. Uh, that's one should definitely not give up on. So learning should be continuous, and it's very beautiful. Yeah, it's a beautiful journey. Uh, See, if you have bought a good company, if you have given a good weightage, if you are taking risk, then another main part is patience. And that is where 90% of the investors die out. 90% of the stock market investors or trader, whatever you say, dies out. So successful stock picking is about 10% great stock picking, 10% position sizing, and 80% holding. So depth or holding power. So so the most important part in investing is not your mind but your stomach. This is said by the great Peter Lynch, that you need to digest, you need to learn how to digest the volatility, the ups and downs of the market. And that is what separates the men from boys. One such example I give is a personal example, but personal portfolio example is Adi Finchem. Now the company is called by Fairchem and Privy demerge. Okay, so I bought the business at around when in 2015 or 2014 end, or maybe 2015 beginning, when Praveen Patsa took over the company. Okay, so so at that time the market cap of the combined entities were around 1000 crore or 1200 crore maybe. So for first 5 to 6 years, the stock went end to end zero. But you see the revenue growth, if you see the margins, if you see the EBIT, you will see the difference. So on the sixth and seventh year, the stock gave a hockey stick curve, and that curve gave me 8 to 10x return in just 1 year. So someone will say that I was dumb to buy the company at 2015, or I was intelligent because I was holding that because I am into that company because it got me 8 to 10x return. No, I will say I am just holding that company. I have just I was also start मतलब मैं भी अब start कर रहा था अपना hold power develop करने के लिए, and that is where the beautiful company came into my radar, and I was just holding it throughout the years, and it gave me multifold returns, just like Chinese bamboo tree, but in the last 2 years, not in the first 5 years. So most of the stocks which have compounded 3x, 4x, 5x for me have compounded after first 3, 4, 5 years. So it's very important to develop your hold power. No one is dumb to pick a stock early. No one is genius that he's having that stock, but it's all about holding. That is why I always keep saying to myself that people say that Rakesh Junjunwala is very lucky that he was holding he held a Titan for so many years, right? He bought Titan, but see, it's not about luck. Uh, See, might be finding Titan is luck for someone, or maybe Rakesh Junjunwala, but holding Titan for so many years and in such volatility with bear and bull market, it's something called super
Meet, your
plus
voice is
patience. So
cracking.
patience is the key element of all the things. Hello, am I audible?
हाँ, अभी you are
Yeah, yeah,
audible.
yeah. You're audible.
Okay. So for me, invest in forget is very overrated, but invest in and monitor is underrated. That is the reason why you will be able to hold on to any businesses for long term if you know what is happening in and out of the in investment. And again, last thing is position sizing. The first part of position sizing is to know your downside risk. The downside potential is very important aspect of position sizing. First thing is to figure out how much you are willing to lose if your thesis doesn't play out. If the risk, suppose reward ratio is 20 is to 80, means chances of losing is 20%, but gaining is 80%, and the loss potential is 50%, but gain is 5x or 500%, then you need to load the truck and pack big, because poor allocation in good stocks is a bad investment. It's as simple as that. That's what separate men from the boys. Very simple, very simple. You don't I mean, you don't need to beat your own return or others return. You just need to beat the next best asset class. That is simple. That is as simple as that. And again, the main part is exiting. So it is a very trickiest part. So it's very subjective as well. So sell your investment when you need money, or if you have found a better idea, or if the stock is egregiously priced. So now I leave the levels what is egregiously priced to the listeners, because it's a very, very, very subjective matter. So overall, the learnings are: be open-minded. Uh, for every winner, there will be many losers. Learn to separate wheat from the chaff. Learn to read between the lines. Don't try to be the next Buffett or Junjunwala. Be you. Don't lose your uniqueness. Just keep on learnings. Borrowed conviction can't buy you balls. It's very important to have your own conviction. And never marry your stocks. Flirt with them for long, very long, very, very, very long. Keep one red eye on them. If they misbehave, just teach them rudely. And the most important thing of all, never bet against India. So yeah, so that is all. I've summarized my learnings in 15 minutes of the past few years. So if anyone wants to ask any question, yeah, I will definitely take up the questions.
So yeah, Meet bhai, I think there are quite a couple of questions. So what we can do is we can have people, use the emoticons to raise their hands, and either Gurjeet bhai or Mishka, you can start pulling them up. And I think Gurjeet bhai has one question before we
Yeah,
move on to others.
let the participants go first. I can ask later also, and I'll take care of the request. Okay.
Okay.
Sir, accidental investor, you can go ahead, please.
Hi, Meet. Thanks for sharing your findings and learnings in the market. My simple question would be like for a beginner in his or her investing journey, how the basic knowledge of trading and say derivatives would be useful from a long term perspective, because knowing the market is one thing and developing your area of competence is one, but if you know the overview of the whole market, it would be good, I guess.
Sir, your
Am I audible to you,
Yes,
Meet?
yes, you're audible.
Uh,
You're
yeah,
audible now.
okay.
AI, can you please repeat your question once again?
मीत भाई सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन ये है, कोई बिगिनर है उसके लिए ट्रेडिंग और फ्यूचर एंड ऑप्शन की जो बेसिक नॉलेज है वो कितनी जरूरी है, मतलब ट्रेडिंग और उसको एफएनओ नहीं भी करना है तो एक ओवरव्यू के लिए कितना जरूरी है?
uh, Sir, see, first of all, I am zero in trading, but for me, it is important. Why it is important? Because कोई भी नया बंदा जब join करता है ना, तो he is having that dopamine kind of feeling in his mind कि भाई मैं trading कर लूँ तो एक महीने में 5% निकाल लूंगा. Okay, so it's important for him to know the nuances of trading as well. But if he wants to build the long term wealth, then I think investing is way to go. But yeah, knowing the nuances of trading is very important, and if you can combine fundamentals with trading, then I think you have got cherry on the top of the cake. So that's very important and very fruitful if you can do this.
Hello.
Yeah, if anyone wants to ask the
Yeah,
next question.
yeah, I would like to go.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, hi, Meet. Thanks for sharing your insights. So, I am just a beginner. I haven't started trading yet. So, I would like to know regarding options. Is it good
Ayush bhai, is there
to
anyone who needs to ask the question, or
is it?
there is no one who is asking the question?
I'm here. I'm here. I'm
Meet
asking.
bhai,
I'm
people
audible.
are asking आपको आवाज आ रहा है हम लोग का?
Meet bhai, I think you should turn off your Wi-Fi and come out in some open space so your net will be much better.
Am I audible?
Just give us a second
Just give us
silent.
a second.
Let's
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
give us
Meet
a second.
reply once.
yeah.
Are we audible to you, Meet?
I guess it's his net issue.
Yeah, might be some problem in the internet
What
only.
I'll do is I'll call him and get it figured out in a minute or so. तब तक I see a lot of people here. Tariq is here. Abhishek bhai is here. Why don't you call them up and we can discuss it till then. I'll just call him.
Yes. Hi, Tariq. Am I audible to you?
He's connecting.
Okay. Hi, Abhishek. Bhai, am I audible to you?
Hey, hi, Mishika.
Hi. I would like to know what are your key learnings in the market. If you could say, what is that one learning that changed your life or changed your game in the market?
How I see is learning is part of the process. So there is something that somebody had told me, which I think I kind of remind myself often, which is have strong opinions which are loosely held. The point, I think this is something I remind myself often when I think I'm getting adamant or if I'm not being too open to feedback. Because at the end of the day, investing, have you seen that image of 10 people trying to decipher an elephant? Somebody is trying to hold the tail, somebody has the trunk, and they all decipher it in different ways. I sincerely believe that to really know a company, it takes at least 3 to 6 months. So one should always be flexible to changing their opinion. So I think this is something I would leave to everyone.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Hi, Tariq.
Am I audible?
What is your key learning from the market? Like something that changed the game entirely, and you realize that, this is something that everyone needs to know.
I think it's dependent on the person. Some people are technical charts expert, and others are like into research. For me, what works is deep research. I don't like having more than like 12, 10, 12 companies in portfolio, and I spend a lot of time researching it. And for me, short-term trading and options don't really work. I've never really made money on it, mostly because for me comfort for investing comes from knowing and researching. So I'm happy buying a company which is beaten down, and if it has enough earning triggers that I can kind of see based on my research, I'm happy owning that. And if that company doesn't give me a return for even a year, I'm happy. I wouldn't really care. But in terms of a short term trading, I would be very impatient, or uh, like feels don't feel comfortable owning that if something is short term. So for me, short term bets and options or chart based trading have never worked. And I've always kind of stick to deep kind of research, and try to own limited concentrated positions, and like just sit on them for as long as I can.
That's really a very good advice for all the listeners to, have a very good knowledge about what you're investing in, why you're investing in, and also the time horizon makes a very big difference to the thought process that you carry when you're investing. Like Meet Bhai was also talking about patience. So I think patience comes when you know that you have invested for long term and you don't want returns in the short term, but you just want that your thesis remains intact throughout. So yeah.
Meet by is here.
Is he here?
Yeah, he's here. He's connecting.
Okay, okay. We'll just wait for him to connect. Are we audible to you, Meet?
I think he's on mute.
Hello, am I audible now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Uh,
Meet by, are you there?
yes, yes. I'm sorry for the technical glitch. I don't know what Wi-Fi के साथ आज क्या हुआ.
It's okay, it's okay. I think now, Silent, you can go ahead with your question.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Meet by
thanks. Thanks for it. So, Meet, I just wanted to ask you that for a beginner, if suppose he wants to go into options in start, so what would be your advice on that?
Sir, I don't do trading, and I have never done FNO, so I can not advise you on that point. And I think I will go into my grave without doing any FNO, and that's for sure. So sorry, sir, not the kind of question I can answer.
Okay, okay.
I, I,
Thanks, Meet.
I, I can add a little bit there.
Yeah,
So,
please.
with if you're going into FNO, you're basically kind of trying to compete directly at World Cup level, and when you're just like playing gully cricket in your skills. FNO has a lot of things going around it. You have to look at interest rates, you have to look at volatility, you have to look at all sorts of things like time expiry. There's delta, gamma, and all kind of different details into it. So it's a very difficult place to start. If you're just starting, start at the easy place. The play for your local cricket team rather than just shooting for directly for the World Cup. And FNO has a lot of institutional players in it, so you don't want to be going there and competing with giants whose job it is to kind of do it this day in and day out and earn their living, while you're doing this at a part time. So that's basically just trying to lay out how what's the scenario is.
Thanks, Tariq. Thanks for it.
Thanks, Tariq bhai.
Meet by
I
Anup
think
this side.
Yes, Anup bhai, tell me.
एक्चुअली मैंने अभी मुझे मार्केट में आए हार्डली 3 to 4 years हुए हैं और आई बिलीव ऑन लॉन्ग टर्म, सो आई फिनिश्ड फ्यू बुक्स ऑल्सो. सो मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था कि सपोज ये एवरेज, जैसे आपने बोला कि हम एवरेज अप जब करना होता है ना, तो मुझे बड़ा डर लगता है बिकॉज इफ सपोज इफ आई हैव कन्विक्शन ऑन एनी स्टॉक and I have purchased 3-4 years back, and now it is giving a 4 times 5 times return. So अभी भी मुझे लगता है कि उसमें there is lot of juice is there. So अगले 5-10 सालों में वो हमको और अच्छा रिटर्न बना के दे सकता है. बट being like I'm in a job, full-time job, so what I do SIP for 20-25,000 rupees. So I cannot buy in a bulk. So I made my portfolio. I buy like जब भी मार्केट नीचे आता है तो I buy in a like 4-5 stocks, 6 stocks, 10 stocks on the basis of my budget. So आप ये एवरेज जो अप है उसको आप कैसे मतलब बताओगे कि इसको कैसे मैं कन्विंस करूं अपने आप को कि इसमें जूस भी है. बट सपोज इफ I have purchased some share on 700-800, now it's on 24-2500 rupees. सो उस टाइम पे मैं मतलब इसको कैसे, इस साइकोलॉजी को कैसे मतलब मेंटेन करूं. जी
ओके ओके सर, व्हेनेवर यू स्टडी अ कंपनी, आप एक टारगेट सेट करते हो कि इसका इतना रेवेन्यूज आएगा, तो इसका इतना मार्जिन आएगा, और उसके हिसाब से आप ईपीएस और ये सब एक पी देते हो कि यार ये आज 1,000 करोड़ की मार्केट कैप है, तो ये 5 साल में ये 5,000 करोड़ की मार्केट कैप हो सकती है. तो जो कंपनी आज 1,000, ठीक है, तो इफ यू आर बाइंग 1,000 करोड़ का मार्केट कैप का कंपनी है, उसके बाद वो 1,500 होती है, वो 2,000 होती है, आप 1,500 पे लो, आप 2,000 पे लो, आप 2,500 पे लो. इफ इट इज गिविंग यू द रिजल्ट, इफ उसकी बैलेंस शीट से लग रहा है कि हाँ ये जो मैंने एक्सपेक्टेशन रखी है उसके हिसाब से परफॉर्म कर रहा है, देन अगर आपका टारगेट है 5,000 करोड़, then you can buy it at 1,000 crore, 1,500 crore, 2,000 crore, 2,500 crore, even at 2,500 crore. If it crosses 5,000 crore, you will get double, right? So it's all about a probability you need to set. Yeah, I'm looking at a company which is around 1,000 crore, and it can go to 5,000 crore, 10,000 crore, whatever. ठीक है, तो then आपके फाइनल टारगेट से वो कंपनी अगर एक्सपेक्टेशन पे बराबर उतर रही है और कितने डिस्काउंट पे मिल रही है, then definitely you can average up. You can average up till I think 2,500, 3,000. If it crosses 5,000, then also 2,500 में बाई किया हुआ, तो आपकी इनिशियल बाई से वो डबल है, लेकिन still you can make double, right? So rather than finding new fish, it's all about position sizing and averaging up. That is what I believe. And you need to play on certain market cap ना, right? कि भाई इंडिया में एग्जांपल बोरोसिल रिन्यूएबल है, तो इंडिया में 10,000 करोड़ की कंपनी होनी चाहिए,
बिल्कुल
सोलर मॉड्यूल की एक 5,000 करोड़ की कंपनी होनी चाहिए यार. इतना सारा वर्ल्ड में डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है, इंडिया में 500 करोड़ की 1-2-1.5 साल पहले क्या था, पूरा मार्केट कैप क्या था. अब आज से 5 साल पहले केमिकल बास्केट आपको 20-25 हजार करोड़ पे मिल रहा था, या 30,000 करोड़ पे टॉप कंपनी. सो यू नीड टू सेट सम टारगेट्स ना, कि भाई इंडिया का जो केमिकल बास्केट है या फिर कुछ भी, कोई भी कंपनी, उसका एक लेवल होना चाहिए 10,000 करोड़. देन यू कैन बाय द कंपनी एट 1,000 करोड़, 2,000 करोड़, 2,500 करोड़. दैट डजंट मैटर सर. You need to look at the end target, no? So that is how you can go there.
Thank you, Meet bhai.
Okay sir, thank you.
Can I ask?
I think you can go ahead with Vishal. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. So my question is to Meet. How should a retail investor study a company? I mean, what should be the right sequence? Is it about the management or the sector, or is it the balance sheet that one should take in the first thing should be?
Sir, it is about everything of whatever you have said.
Okay.
You need to look at you need to look at every aspect, na sir. So sir, if you're investing in India, the first thing you need to look at is the management, and then business. And if you're investing outside India, the first thing you need to look is business and then management. In India, always management comes first. It doesn't mean that management is clean and management is good. You blindly go and buy that company. If the management is not hungry, you need to look at every aspect. No, sir, management hungry है, management young है, management is clean and good. And see sir, 95% companies इंडिया में जो होती है ना, वो कोई clean नहीं होती है. If you read any annual report or any companies जो आज 20,000 करोड़ की है, लेकिन वो 10 साल पहले 2,000 करोड़ की है, तो उसमें भी चोरी चकारी की ही होगी सर. But you need to read between the lines के सर, उसका business बढ़ रहा है. If it whether he is minority shareholder or not, we need to look at many things. So you need to study everything. It's not that we need to only study balance sheet, or we need to only study the sector, or we need to study the management. No sir, we need to study everything, and then we need to connect everything with our investment rationale, and then only we can build some position in our in any company.
Okay, so can you share some of the good key resources or learning resources whenever you start studying a
Sir, it's available everywhere ना सर. आप Google करो, आपको screener पे मिल जाएगा. What do you want? It's all about your rational ना. You can get it, get everything from BSc website. Screener पे मिल जाएगा आपको. It's like studying the management. Just Google management का नाम लिखो और उसके पीछे fraud लिखो. You will get the entire history. It's everything available on Google, sir. It's just that we don't know, and it's very easy to get such information that people don't make good use of Google. So I think you just need to type some keywords on Google, and then you will get everything on your plate.
Right. And my second question is, like, if we want to play US stocks or international stocks, so should we play it out through mutual funds, or we should like invest directly for the blue chip companies that we know or we have studied?
Sir, it's very subjective. If you can keep tab by yourself, if you can study what Netflix is doing, then definitely you can invest by yourself. But if you don't know, and if you are just investing out of FOMO, or if you are just investing out of purely on the basis of diversification, then I think you need to play it through some institution or mutual funds. But if you know what you are doing, then I think individual stock picking is the best way to go.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
मीत जफर है यार.
सर आप कुछ पूछोगे, मैं जवाब नहीं दे पाऊंगा.
अरे तो मैं तो पूछने के लिए आया हूँ भाई, कुछ तो बताओ.
सर आपके सामने कोई क्या बोल सकता है?
क्या बोलेगा सर अब?
मीत भाई का स्टॉप लॉस हिट हो गया आपके साथ.
यार मुझे लगा कि चलो कुछ सीखने को मिलेगा, तो तुम लोग तो जो है उन्होंने तो वो कर दिया, निराश कर दिया.
तो सर पोस्ट मार्केट कॉल करते हैं ना सर आज.
Sir, I would like Sushil Kedia sir also to add his valuable comments. Sir, if you can please add on to some learnings for every one of us.
Sure, I'll be happy to share a few things. Thank you for giving me the mic. But before I take off, I would urge, we have a very competent chartered accountant. I'll not take the liberty of taking his name because he displays his name on Twitter as Rabies. So if he has come into this space also, and if you have place for adding one more speaker, please send him a mic invitation. He chooses to be hilarious, but behind his hilarious tweets is a very competent mind. आप उनको रबीस को भी बुला लो. He's, I think, there in the third row.
Yes, sir, I've done that. I've added
Okay.
to the speaker.
Welcome, Rabies ji.
Thank you, Sushil ji. How are you?
आपकी रिच बैरिटोन वॉइस से ही पसीना छूट जाता है.
नहीं, मैंने तो आपको देखा और आपको देख के आ गया. मैंने कहा यार बहुत बड़े
तो मैं समझ गया था, मुझे देखकर आ गया और मैं घबरा गया था उसी में कि ताऊ आ गया है.
नहीं.
ताऊ आ गया बेटा, सोच समझ के बोलियो जो भी बोले.
नहीं, ऐसी बात नहीं है, बल्कि रादर खैर इट इज ए पब्लिक फोरम, बट I would like to thank you for your invitation that you gave me to meet you, and very soon I would be coming to Mumbai and meeting you in person.
मैं हो सकता है उसके पहले दिल्ली आ जाऊंगा, तो so we'll meet.
नहीं.
Okay, so
Sure. So
I utilize this opportunity to speak to so many people here on this chat, talking about a few very basic things.
Yeah.
So, oftentimes Twitter पे अपने आप बहुत सारे expert पैदा हो जाते हैं. Like a few days ago, I was on a similar space and somebody was keeping on ranting, ये पड़ोसी में मेरा पड़ोसी ट्रेडिंग करके 20,000 रुपया रोज का कमाता है, उसमें क्या आनी जानी है, वेल्थ तो कंपाउंडिंग करके ही बनेगी। अरे बेटा तू बना लेना पहले कंपाउंडिंग करके। तो तू वॉरेन बफेट बेटर है और दूसरा कोई बंदा ट्रेडिंग कर रहा है वो बेटर नहीं है, वो सब भाषणबाजी है। सो originating from there, I'll tell you something very basic.
Yeah.
Stock market is same for each and everyone. बाजार किसी के साथ भेदभाव नहीं करता है, सबके टर्मिनल पे सेम प्राइस आता है, सबको एक्सचेंजेस सेम बैलेंस शीट्स कंपनी की भेजती है, ऑलमोस्ट एवरीथिंग इज सेम फॉर एवरीवन, बट देन द परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ ईच पर्सन इज टोटली डिफरेंट. Even if two people made an identical amount of money, starting from an identical amount of capital in say 1 year or in a month, the path that their wealth took, one guy may be very volatile, the other guy may do it in a stable way, किसी का सीधा एक झटके में पैसा बन जाएगा. So adjusted for the suffered risk, even if there are identical returns, the return adjusted for risk is very unique for each person. तो प्रकृति ने किसी कारण से, अगर यहाँ कोई एंटी गॉड है तो मैं प्रकृति बोलता हूँ, बट सबको यूनिक फिंगरप्रिंट मिली है, सबकी रेटिना यूनिक है, सबकी टीथ लाइन जो है बिल्कुल यूनिक है, मतलब आधार कार्ड के साथ प्रकृति ने सबको जन्म दिया है. तो सबका नेचर और सबका कैरेक्टर भी बहुत डिफरेंट है. और ये जो नेचर वर्सेस नर्चर की भी जो बहस चलती है कि थ्रू राइट ट्रेनिंग यू कैन एक्वायर स्किल्स, और वो टर्टल ट्रेडर्स का जो एक्सपेरिमेंट था कि इवन फार्मर्स कैन बिकम ट्रेडर्स, टू सम एक्सटेंट एवरीथिंग इज ट्रू एंड इवेंचुअली द फाइनल ट्रूथ इज ऑल ग्रे. बट मोर देन दिस नेचर वर्सेस नर्चर, सीखने की भी हर इंसान की एक लिमिट है. तो अब देखिए, मान लीजिए कुछ लोगों के पेरेंट्स बड़े फसी होते हैं, नहीं बेटा पायलट वायलट नहीं बनना है, बहुत रिस्की है, पर उसको बंदे को आराम से बाइक चलाने देते हैं. तो रिस्क इज ऑल्सो अ परसेप्शन. So the limit to which you can stretch logical thinking or try to be scientific, at the end of the day, we cannot forget the fact that all of us are human. All of us have certain pressures, and the whole beauty of being human, combined with this fact that हर बंदे को बिल्कुल उसकी यूनिक सिग्नेचर कैरेक्टर के साथ भगवान ने जन्म दिया है. Two children born out of the same womb, one after the other, साल 2 साल 5 साल के गैप से, getting the same upbringing, being drilled in their brain the same values. But वो जैसे जैसे बड़े होते, उनके जन्म के टाइम से दिख जाता है कि इनका नेचर दोनों का अलग है. सो वेदर ये प्रीवियस जन्म के संस्कार आते हैं या ये रैंडम होता है, आज के टॉपिक पे हम उस बहस में नहीं जाएंगे. द पॉइंट इज मोर देन इलस्ट्रेटेड फॉर मी टू कम टू माई नेक्स्ट मोर इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, that there is a uniqueness each has been given, and in terms of trying to learn things, whether about markets or learning anything in life, चाहे आपको चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट बनना है तो उसका एक सिलेबस है, पर हर चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट की प्रैक्टिस यूनिक है, उसकी लाइफ की आउटकम्स यूनिक है, उसके क्लाइंट्स का एक्सपीरियंस यूनिक है. उसी तरह से स्टॉक मार्केट के अंदर या दुनिया के किसी भी प्रोफेशन में कोई भी जाएगा, ये यूनिकनेस खत्म नहीं होती है. But the purpose of training is to help you not destroy yourselves because of your uniqueness. But it does not mean that any education or any training will ever get designed to make you give up your uniqueness. We have to save ourselves from our uniqueness, but our uniqueness is at the same time one of it perhaps is the most powerful gift nature has given us. So given that, coming to the first sentence I made, that stock market is same for everyone. आसमान सबके लिए सेम है, नदी सबके लिए सेम है, हवा सबके लिए सेम है, स्टॉक मार्केट सबके लिए सेम है, और सबके कांड बिल्कुल अलग अलग है मार्केट में. तो इसलिए कोई भी डिस्कशन, कोई भी ट्रेनिंग, कोई भी किताब को आप पढ़ो, किसी भी ब्लॉग को पढ़ो, 99% ऑफ द टाइम पीपल आर ऑब्सेस्ड विद मार्केट में क्या करना है, मार्केट में कैसे करना है. मेरा अनुरोध है, मेरी आज की इस बात पर एकांत में विचार कीजिएगा. आपके लिए, मेरे लिए, सबके लिए सवाल उतना ही इंपॉर्टेंट है जितना इंपॉर्टेंट ये सवाल है मार्केट में क्या करना है, मार्केट में क्या होने वाला है, मार्केट में कैसे करें. उसी कैटेगरी के क्वेश्चन के साथ ये क्वेश्चन इक्वली एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट है कि मैं किस प्रकार का जंतु हूं, मैं किस तरह के कांड कर बैठ सकता हूं. सबसे बड़ा खतरा, सबसे बड़ा अंधेरा दिए के नीचे होता है. The biggest threat to your achievements is your own idiosyncrasies.
Sir,
Idiosyncrasies are
sir, sorry to interrupt. Sir, sorry to interrupt you because there are more people lined up for the questions, and if you could allow them to carry on with the questions.
Do you want me to stop speaking or you want me to wrap it up in a few minutes?
Sir, wrap it up.
Sir, I think वो actually there was a miscommunication. वो request I think ज़्यादा आ रहे हैं, तो what he might
So
have
fine,
meant
let
to
me
say
know,
was
should I
कि, yeah.
stop speaking or I
No,
quickly wrap up
that
this
is what
point in
I'm
the
saying,
next 1 or
sir.
2
That is
minutes?
what I'm trying to say. तो request ज़्यादा आ रहे थे, तो वो बोल रहे होंगे शायद कि we could wrap it up in next 4-5 minutes. I think वो बोलने
No,
की
I
कोशिश
think I'll
कर रहे हैं.
complete this point in the next 1 minute.
Thank you, sir.
So,
Thank you, sir.
so that's fair enough. If the flavor of the conversation today is different, we must respect it. So the point that I am now coming to conclude, having laid out this ground, is that unless and until each of us also sits down to understand what sort of personality I have, what kind of mistakes, what is not suitable for me. किसी के लिए प्लेन चलाना suitable है, किसी के लिए बाइक चलाना suitable है, और कोई पैदल भी चलते चलते गिर जाता है. So I made a tweet and I've copied it here of recommending a book. It is called Trading and Exchanges. Don't get confused by the name of this book. It is one of the most powerful books I've read, and I think it's a must read for everyone. This is one book that will describe the compulsions, pressures, personality type required, the capital required, the risk attitude required, the training required for every type of role one can play in the markets. And it's written in such a lucid and such a well explained way, describing every dimension of what it takes to become a particular type of professional in the market. So if you read through all of it and you try to find out what is your natural personality closest to which of these types, and then you also inspect, so that will make you overcome this debate कि मैं long term investor बनूं, कि मैं trader बनूं, कि मैं arbitrager बनूं. जो प्रकृति ने आपको gift दी है, आप वो बनो. And last point on this, the other varieties that this book describes, not the person that you think today you are. If you study all those also well, a much more important thing will come. Like is happening in life, that's happening in markets. We are all part of a food chain. मुर्गे को इंसान खा जाता है और इंसान को शेर खा जाता है. So in capitalism, the weaker species will get eliminated out. So by studying the characters, natures, requirements, compulsions of all other types of players in the market, you will start perceiving on a psychological level if you are becoming the lunch today or you are actually hunting the lunch today. So this long preamble to a book, I will gain nothing by this book getting sold more. But if I can convince some people that it's worth spending few days reading this book worth 650 rupees, please do it. That's the point I wanted to make today.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your opinions and views on market. Completely changed my perspective as a beginner also, that how one should look at markets. Markets give everyone a very same ground to work on, but it's on us and our nature how we take it and how we work. And thank you so much, sir, for giving us the platform to understand this thing. Um, and we can move on to the speaker section right now. The other speakers who are waiting to ask their questions from Meet Bhai or any of the other speakers can ask their questions.
Hi,
Yeah, I
am I
think some
audible?
people are also waiting to speak. So if they want to speak or ask any questions, so like we can go ahead. Ankit Bhai, I think you're next. Sorry.
Yeah. Hi, this is Ankit from SmartSync Services Handle.
Hello,
So,
Ankit bhai.
meet by always pleasure listening to you. I may know I'll take only 30 seconds to ask my question. I may know already the answer, but for the benefit of all, I think if you can share what has been your best talk and your worst talk and what has been your learning from that, I think all of us would benefit a lot from that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. My best stock is till date is Adi Finchem, Fairchem, and Privy, and my worst stock is Syntax. So it gave me 100x in reverse. So That's my worst mistake, that I was averaging down and I was holding on to the loser, and that hurted my portfolio returns, and that taught me many things that not every demerger or every capex oriented company can make money for you. That's a broken balance sheets means broken portfolios. That's it.
Thank you. And I think it would be great if Zafar Bhai also ask his question. You may choose not to answer. That's it.
No one can answer Zafar Bhai.
Sir, can I
Thank,
ask?
thank you, Ankit bhai.
Thank you, Ankit Bhai.
Thank you, Gurjeet ji. Thank you.
Yes, Piker 70.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you for organizing this space. My question is, it is said that one should not have more than a maximum of 15 stocks in his portfolio. But I face a problem wherein you find all these new concepts coming up in the market. So many companies which you get tempted to invest in. So do you invest only in the blue chip, making it a portfolio of 10 stocks, 12 stocks? And if you increase the number of companies, it goes beyond 15. So how do one restricts to the maximum number of stocks in a portfolio?
Sir, the point is not to restrict your holdings to 15. The point is to diversify it where you can comfortably track and monitor your investments. If you are if you can comfortably monitor your 50 companies, then you can definitely invest in 50 companies. And if you are not comfortable even tracking 5 companies, then it's not advisable to keep 5 companies. It's all about your comfort zone. Don't diversify just for the sake of diversification. Diversify only if you know the risk and reward, and depending upon upon your talent. That if you are able to monitor and track those many companies, then it's definitely advisable to diversify. It's not about there is no particular definition. It's all about your comfort zone. So I was talking about the comfort zone. I am not talking about any particular number कि 15 होना चाहिए, 10 होना चाहिए, 20 नहीं होना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं है सर. So that's very clear from my side.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hi. So basically, Meet, I think अंकित भाई ने जफर भाई को एक क्वेश्चन पूछा था, और वो
Yes,
आंसर
please,
उसका
Zafar
ना
bhai.
हो उससे पहले, हाँ, देयर वाज अनदर क्वेश्चन. तो आई थिंक द बेस्ट स्टॉक एंड द वर्स्ट स्टॉक एंड द लर्निंग फ्रॉम इट, एक्चुअली मैं भी वही जानना चाह रहा था. तो अब अच्छा मौका मिला है, तो क्यों हाथ से जाने दें वो मौका. तो
Yes,
जाफर
yes.
भाई, आप थोड़ा
जफर
सा
भाई आप
बता
पूछिए
देते.
प्लीज. सर आप पूछिए.
Yes, Zafar bhai.
I think he's on mute. So
Yeah. What we
Zafar
can
bhai,
do
are
is we can
you?
proceed to the next
Yeah, we'll
speaker.
proceed to
फिर
the
उसके
next
बाद
person.
he can
We'll
continue.
proceed to the next person. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ex-
correct.
expert voice. Expert voice, please ask your question.
We can
No,
go
you-
to Zobra till he's answering. Like, I think he's also on mute only.
हेलो
हाँ जफर भाई.
यार, मेरा एक सवाल है.
Yes sir.
मतलब इन लोगों का क्वेश्चन है ना कि पोर्टफोलियो में 15-20 स्टॉक होने चाहिए या 100-150 होने चाहिए. तो इसका रेशनल क्या है? मतलब ये क्या फिट टू ऑल सबके लिए एक ही आंसर होता है या डिपेंड करता है इंडिविजुअल टू इंडिविजुअल?
सर इंडिविजुअल टू इंडिविजुअल डिफर करेगा 100%.
बट मोस्टली लोग आंसर ये करते हैं ना कि जैसे तुमने 2-3 लोगों को जवाब दिया कि 15-20 शेयर रहेगा तो अच्छा रहेगा.
नहीं नहीं सर, मैंने वो नहीं बोला. मैंने वो बोला कि आपसे जितना हैंडल हो सके आप उतने रखिए. आपसे 50 हो तो आप 50 रखो, 5 भी ना हो तो 5 भी ना रखो. इट्स ऑल अबाउट कि आपका कंफर्ट जोन क्या है.
ओके.
ओके, हाँ, पर्सपेक्टिव वो है कि आपका कंफर्ट जो है उसी में रहो आप. जस्ट डाइवर्सिफिकेशन और फोमो के की वजह से आप ओवर स्टॉक्स ना बॉट करें. वो मेरा पर्सपेक्टिव था बोलने का. कोई फिक्स नंबर उस पर नहीं था.
Zobra, I think you can go ahead with your question. I think he's not there. Niranjan ji, you can go with the question.
Right. Thanks for the opportunity. My question is to Abhishek. So, Abhishek, I just wanted to know how do you decide on sector weightages and allocation to stock within the sector, and would be great if somebody can speak on this. I mean, question is specifically to Abhishek, but we'll be happy to hear from others as well. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Niranjan. So, Niranjan, broadly, two thoughts. First, I would say understand the broader index composition. If one goes and see, then IT plus finance plus consumer, these three would be, say, 60% of the basket. I would say that your allocation shouldn't vary too much away from the index, because in that case you start moving more towards, I would say, trends which can be temporary. But like you may deviate 10-15% in weightage, but shouldn't go too overboard. At the end of the day, I will say look at structural stories. And in my view, there are four main consumption sectors. The three I mentioned. Fourth, I would add pharma and healthcare. So ये चार में आपका weightage should cover a lot. Within this, I would say it depends on your circle of competence. For me, for example, I do understand IT and financial well. So I might actually be on the higher side of it. I might have 70% in these two, versus if somebody understands pharma and chemicals very well, might have 30% there. But what will be no is going like too emotional with a market cycle and having, say, 70% of your holdings in cyclicals, which you cannot really time. So broadly, those are the thoughts, and combination of these two, I would say, don't deviate too much from the broader index, and second is don't deviate too much from your circle of competence.
And how about specific stock weightages within these sectors? Or how do you work around it?
So my style is, if my conviction is strong, um, if I feel there is a like a strong structural roadmap, there is something which I can play for a decade, I might go to max, say, 15-20%. Uh, but for me, how it works is, even right now, the top six stocks would contribute to 65-70% of the allocation, and the largest holding is, say, 18%. So right now, my portfolio, by the way, largest holding is something which is counter cyclical, which is in real estate, which is Godrej Properties, which I had bought around 900 levels, because uh, the thesis was purely that if equities is in a doldrum, for me, real estate is a hedge. So I went with the best player, but uh, how would I go is, say, not not more than 15% in any stock, but no point going less than 5% in your top five holdings. So say between 7 to 15% in your top 3 to 4 names.
Got it. I mean, would love to hear more from others as well, if you have thoughts on it. Thank you.
Vikas Lalwani ji, please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity, and really great to see these spaces being arranged and a lot of knowledge being shared. My question specifically is to Tariq, but I appreciate anyone can contribute on this particular question. This is specific to do with the drive which is happening on electrification of two-wheelers, and how more and more players are coming into the market. In Indian market specifically, we have Ola and few others also coming up. The question is, how confident do we see these markets evolving, and there are going to be 2-3 winners? The reason I'm asking is that most of these players are coming out with heavy capex, so the profits that they were making are bound to go low because of these capex cycles. And let's say earlier, 20 million two-wheelers were getting sold per annum. Now the growth is going to be the constant. Indian economy is going to grow at 6-7, whatever pace at it grows. But there are more people who are going to eat out of that pie. So the profits are bound to further get divided, and the spend on the capex is also going to increase because they have to come out with electrification and new raw materials and all of that. So do we think that players who are incumbent players will also struggle, or do you think that some of these are going to have a huge winners in spite of the capex cycles and in spite of all this spendings? Yeah, that's the question I have.
Okay, so if I divide your question is basically first you're asking if there will be 2 3 winners and how will they basically capture the market share given there will be new entrants coming in and they will incur a lot of capex in their profits and financials will basically not be that robust. So
Yeah.
to answer that, I don't know how many winners will be there, how many losers will be there. My research is based on data. I don't look at opinions or try to form very less opinions. So based on data, what I can tell you is most of the new players that are coming in. So if you take away the traditional players like Hero, Bajaj, and everyone else who already have scale, versus the new players like Ola and Ather that have come in, they have scale as well. But there are other players like there are small startups like Revo or you have Bounce announcing EV scooters. All of those don't have scale. And in this business, if you want to, the margins are very thin. You don't have like 30-40% margins. You get somewhere close to single digits to like mid-teens margins. So those mid-teens margins come with scale. To give you an example, Hero is exporting into new geographies globally. And those export market, they don't have as good gross margins or even EBITDA margins because they don't have scale yet in those geographies. And their margins are very low compared to what they do in India. So that will be a major differentiator in this business. Whoever has scale will kind of take the lead. How it will evolve, who will reach that scale, I have no clue. Ola and those guys don't really need to make profit immediately. They can sacrifice on that for their growth. I don't know if those smaller players can do that also. So it's an evolving space, but based on data, this is the scenario today.
Thanks, Tariq. Just a follow up on that. Do you have any horizon by when do you think this game will play out? Will it be 3, 5, 10 years? And do you think there is going to be a pain in the system because Ola doesn't have to worry about profitability immediately, and they can cause more competition to the current players like TVS, Bajaj, and Hero?
Yeah, so there will be definitely consolidation. Timeline wise, it has to happen before 2030. The government of India has a policy that no new ICE vehicles can be sold after 2030. So that's your timeline. So until unless, and we have seen how stringent they are with economic norms, the whole transition to BS6 kind of hurted the entire industry. Those two-wheelers that you see today, Hero reporting less sales and whatnot, has been because of that transition. So they got hit with that BS6 transition. They got hit with before that demonetization, and after that COVID. So it has been a lull period for them for the last 4-5 years. And this is a cyclical industry, so it's not like it's constantly on uptrend. So very much like real estate, you have cycles. Real estate cycle is like 8 to 10 years. Auto industry is maybe around 5 to 6 years. But before 2030, it has to happen. So it has to happen within this decade. You have the next 8-9 years to make that happen. I believe we will see a lot of momentum in 24, 25. And you will start seeing more and more new EV launches from traditional players in the two-wheeler industry and the new upstarts in 2022, next year, in a couple of months, and then in 2023. That's my thesis, but that's obviously we need to see if that happens.
Ram Baranwal sir, please go ahead with your question.
हाँ, मेरा क्वेश्चन मीत भाई से था। अभी उन्होंने बताया था ना सिंटेक्स में कि कुछ रिवर्स इतना हो गया, तो इज देयर एनी लेसन, आई मीन फंडामेंटल लेसन दैट ही he learned from this that he would like to share?
Sir, one of the main fundamental lesson which I have learned is broken balance sheet gives you broken portfolio kagar. That's one line summary from the entire painful learning. You can you never need to bet anything big on a company which is heavy into debt, or where the second gen or next generation promoter themselves doesn't know where the business is heading towards. I think I have learned many things in Syntex. First thing is कि first generation second generation promoter में बहुत gap होता है. जिसको जो सिल्वर स्पून बॉर्न होता है, इट डजंट नेसेसरी कि आप उनके ऊपर फर्स्ट जनरेशन जैसा ट्रस्ट रख सकते हो. सेकंड थिंग व्हाट आई हैव थॉट इज कि केपेक्स कर रहा है तो भाई थोड़ा ठीक है, डेट ले रहा है, इट्स गुड के भाई बाद में जाके it will get solved, but that doesn't happen. So so the most important learning is that you cannot bet on big on any company which has broken balance sheet, and where the promoters are not true for their minority shareholders. And you need to see one more thing which we never see in any company, कि जब प्रमोटर फर्स्ट जनरेशन से सेकंड जनरेशन आती है या थर्ड जनरेशन आती है, तो वी नीड टू चेक द क्वालिटी ऑफ द younger generation as well, because many times what happens is they might not have the hunger, or they might not have that etiquettes which the previous generation has. So these are my main learnings: that broken balance sheet, heavy debt, and Jersey promoters. Hello.
Gaurav
Yes,
Khandelwal ji,
Meet bhai,
please
you're
go ahead.
audible.
Yes, yes.
Gaurav Khandelwal ji, please go ahead.
यस यस मेरा क्वेश्चन तारिक सर से है. मुझे स्टॉक मार्केट में एक्चुअली 2 साल ही हुए हैं बेसिकली, मतलब 2020 के क्रैश के बारे में एंटर किया हूँ, और अभी तक मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम में लार्ज कैप या मिड कैप में ही एंट्री लिया हूँ या इन्वेस्ट किया हूँ. बट रिसेंटली मैं एक बुक पढ़ रहा था, द मास्टर क्लास विद सुपर इन्वेस्टर्स. तो उसमें मैंने देखा कि जो बड़ा पैसा बनता है उनके इन्वेस्टर्स के एक्सपीरियंस से जो मुझे लगा है, वो स्मॉल कैप और माइक्रो कैप में इन्वेस्ट करने से ही बनता है. बट उनका एक जो कैच मुझे उसमें लगा कि उनके पास जो बड़े एक्सेस रहता है उन मैनेजमेंट से जिसमें वो इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं. तो एज अ रिटेल इन्वेस्टर, डू यू थिंक ये एक्सेस जरूरी होता है माइक्रो कैप और स्मॉल कैप में इन्वेस्ट करने से पहले?
So
Can I say something?
yeah, go ahead.
Guru bhai, the best person here to answer this query is Zafar bhai. I think Tariq bhai, you can proceed after Zafar bhai. You can definitely say.
Yeah, go. No, I want to hear Zafar bhai as well.
I think the best person here who can answer this is Zafar bhai. Zafar bhai, can you please answer this question?
Meet, let Tariq first give the answer, then I'll add.
Okay, Tariq bhai, please go.
Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes,
you're
yes,
audible, sir.
you're audible, sir.
अच्छा, क्वेश्चन में थोड़ा सुन नहीं पाया. क्या क्वेश्चन था कि whether they need to have access to
Small cap,
management for
small cap and micro cap investment.
ओके. सो मेरे हिसाब से कोई भी ज़रूरत नहीं है किसी भी मैनेजमेंट से मिलने का या उनके एक्सेस होने का. इफ़ यू नो द बिजनेस एंड यू नो द सेक्टर एंड यू कैन predict the scalability of that business, so you can make a good judgment of company कि ये कंपनी आगे क्या कर सकती है. उसके बेस पे यू कैन बेट इजीली. मैं मोस्टली माइक्रो कैप में ही इन्वेस्ट करता हूँ, और शायद मैं 1 या 2 प्रमोटर से बाई चांस मिला हूँ कभी एजीएम में. सो मेरे हिसाब से कोई रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है किसी प्रमोटर से मिलने की या एक्सेस होने की. अगर आपको थोड़ा सा भी बिजनेस का सेंस है कि जिस सेक्टर में है वो प्रमोटर की कंपनी, उसका अगर थोड़ा को आइडिया है तो आप आराम से बैठ कर सकते हैं।
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And Tariq, sir, if you can answer, if you have any other thing.
Yeah, so very similar to what Zafar Bhai said. So first of all, like you don't need to divide into small cap, large cap categories. Like those categories are just categories. They are defined by SEBI for mutual funds and controlling the market. For me, what matters is if I can understand a business, and if you can understand the earnings triggers of that business. For example, if you take Loris, for example, if you invested Loris during IPO, it didn't have any earnings trigger. And if you remain invested till when they finished those facility capacity started increasing and you just got out after that, you had very lull returns for the entire time. But if you knew the business, if you knew when their capacity online will come online, and when that capex will translate basically into their sales and profit, and you invested a month or two before that, you would be able to kind of get a good return on your investment. And your returns on investment are also time dependent. You can't just invest at the start of everything and just wait 10 years before you make like 100%. That's not a good return. So look at the business rather than looking at category wise. And the only play that comes into is that micro caps and small caps will have less disclosures and less data to find. So it's very easy to study a large cap compared to a micro cap. So you will just have to hunt for data a little bit more. But try understanding the business more. It doesn't matter then where in the stage company is, and look for when that earning trigger will come in. That's what I do. So that's applicable for me. It may not be for everybody else.
Yeah, for next, I have a question from many people over here who wanted to ask this that मैं मार्केट में अभी 6 महीना पहले आया हूँ या 1 साल पहले आया हूँ या 2 साल पहले आया हूँ, and obviously the new participant in the market would start with trading. So my question is for Ayush Bhai and for Meet Bhai. If somebody is a newcomer in the market, say 6 months old or 1 year old or 2 year old, what that person should follow and what he should do so an individual, a new fresher, could beat the markets and generate good returns for himself. So Meet Bhai or Ayush Bhai, any one of you can, if you can take the question, generalized question from the public.
मीत भाई स्पेस आपका है तो पहले आप बोलो, मैं तो ऐड करूंगा, मैं हेल्प कराने आया था, पहले आप बोलो फिर मैं थोड़ा बहुत ऐड कर दूंगा।
ठीक है। सी सर, जैसे बड़े लोग कहते हैं ना, यू मेक मनी बाय 2 थिंग्स, या तो आप पढ़ो या तो किसी से मिलो, राइट। सो जो न्यू कमर्स है, फॉर देम देयर इज ओनली वन एडवाइस आई कैन गिव कि रीड स्टार्ट विथ वन अपॉन वॉल स्ट्रीट, पीटर लिंच, best book for basic stock market learnings for anyone who is into investing. And then slowly and steadily just try to learn the things, and just आपको जो भी आए वो मतलब explore everything, whether you want to explore trading or investing, explore everything, but इतना बड़ा explore मत कर देना कि आप मतलब die out कर जाओ. You need to survive. ठीक है, आप मतलब 500 रुपीज से, 1000 रुपीज से, 2000 रुपीज से यू कैन स्टार्ट समथिंग. इफ यू वांट टू शॉर्ट समथिंग, यू शॉर्ट दैट थिंग, बट 500 रुपए से करो, 1000 रुपए से करो. इफ यू वांट टू इन्वेस्ट 1000 2000, छोटे अमाउंट से करो विच यू कैन अफोर्ड टू लूज. जीरो भी हो जाए तो आपको प्रॉब्लम ना हो. लर्न फ्रॉम दैट थिंग, इवॉल्व, एंड देन स्लोली स्टेडीली try to get into the markets. And first and foremost, invest in yourself. Read the past, read the the companies which have failed miserably in the market. Read about the companies whose businesses are went successful over the years. Read both of them, trades nikalo, and then try to invest directly in the market. Else invest in yourself before you start investing in market. Otherwise market aapki le lega, aapko pata bhi nahi chalega. Bull market hai, everyone will make money, that's good, but it's all about holding your nerves when the bear strikes. So for newbies, I think you need to read One Upon Wall Street first, that book, and learn from each and every investment type ki kya ho raha hai, lekin chote amount se, so that which you can afford to lose. That way you will get both historical lessons or experience as well, and practical experience as well. Thank you.
थैंक यू मीत भाई, आपने बहुत अच्छा समराइज कर दिया। ज़्यादा पॉइंट्स हैं नहीं मेरे पास ऐड करने के लिए, पर मेरा जितना भी एक्सपीरियंस रहा है, मतलब ज़्यादा साल का नहीं है, पिछले 8-10 साल का है, तो मैं तो यही बोल पाऊँगा कि जैसे आपने कहा, या तो रीड 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 या मीट मीट मीट, और ये सब करने में कोई भी इनिशियल स्टार्टिंग इन्वेस्टर होता है उसको 3 से 4 साल लग जाते हैं, और इन 3 से 4 सालों में the goal of any newbie should not be to beat the market, it should be to get returns which are equivalent to the market. तो आज अगर आपको निपॉन निफ्टी 20 मिल रहा है 0.05% पे, या फॉर एग्जांपल भारत बॉन्ड, वो तो आपको पॉइंट आई थिंक 0.005% पे मिल रहा है आपको, और फॉर दैट मैटर नैस्डैक, मोतीलाल नैस्डैक ETF, you are again getting at some paisas. So why not? These are not investment advice, by the way. I'm not giving any investment advice. Why shouldn't any investor? This is what my first mentor tried to teach me. मैं उस समय बहुत नौसिखिया था तो सीख नहीं पाया। उनने बोला था कि अपना सारा पैसा कुछ अच्छे ETFs में डाल दो, और या तो अगले 3-4 साल सिर्फ लोगों से मिलो, या बैठ के किताबें पढ़ो और देखो ही मत कि अपने पोर्टफोलियो में क्या हो रहा है। तो मैं तो यही बोल पाऊंगा, अगर किसी को मार्केट बीट करना है, मार्केट बीट करने की नहीं सोचो, ये सोचो कि अगले 3-4 साल कितने कनेक्शंस बना सकते हो या कितना नॉलेज गेन कर सकते हो, और बाकी काम मार्केट को करने दो, बिकॉज ETFs इंडिया में ऑलवेज आज भी अवेलेबल हैं, कल भी अवेलेबल रहेंगे। तो मेरा तो यही था। बाकी जाफर भाई is also here, Tariq is also here, Gurmeet is also here. He would be, I think, better people. These are all better, more experienced people. Saloni is also here to add to it.
Yes, Guruji bhai, if anybody has any follow-up question or next question, then we can carry on.
Yeah, I'm trying to make them speaker. Yeah, Tanishk ji, you can go ahead, please. Tanishk Agarwal ji.
Yeah, very good evening, everyone. Actually, I'm a beginner investor, and I started like around 3 years back in my first year of college, and I started with reading, and from 2.5 years, I've been trading and investing into the stocks. So my questions are like from everyone who can suggest me, like uh, like whenever a stock performs, like, or I'm expecting something from the particular stock or a company, and a particular growth, and it is giving that particular growth, and it is giving a decent returns. So when exactly to do you get the ideology that now this is done and now you can book? Because the company is same, it still gets corrected 40% from the top, it is still making the same revenue, same growth.
Tanishk, I didn't get your question properly. Means what do you want के कब हम exit करें? That's what your question is.
एग्जैक्टली सर, मतलब जो कंपनी से एक्सपेक्टेशन रहता है कि हाँ भाई ये इतने परसेंट के रेवेन्यूज या सेल्स या क्वार्टर ऑन क्वार्टर ग्रोथ या ईयर ऑन ईयर ग्रोथ अपने मार्जिन में इम्प्रूव लेके आ रही है, तो लाइक व्हेन डू यू गेट दैट कि अब अपने को बुक करना चाहिए इसको?
Sir, this is a very tough and tricky question. Actually, no one knows कि कब exit करना चाहिए, but it's a very subjective thing. It's all about कि आप expect कर रहे हो कि this company should get a 50p, but then you should exit at 50p. It's all about your general sense कि और आगे कितना इसका runway रहेगा. If you know the market size is 50,000 crore and the company is market leader, at least 50% market उसके पास है, then you need to check कि भाई इसको और कितना रनवे मिल सकता है. तो it's very subjective, and it differs from sector to sector as well. So there is no particular or proper answer, but yeah, the general answer is if you are in need of any money, then you can definitely exit, or if you have found a better idea than your existing one, then surely you can exit. And and I don't know at what P anyone can exit. In this market, we have 50 P company, 100 P company, and even 200 P company, and a dying 2 P company as well. So there is no proper answer at what valuation one need to exit, or at what revenues, or at what margins one need to exit. There is no proper answer to it, because there is a hidden part which is known as low float. So there are many companies which multiplied 5x without giving a single quarter positive result. So it's very tough to answer this question in a particular manner. But yes, according to investor, you can definitely develop some traits, and you can definitely work upon it.
Okay. And sir, like from your past experiences, whenever you have switched for a particular company or to another company or a different sector, like what kind of ideology do you follow when you're booking कि अब इसका हो गया है या फिर किस टाइप से अब इसमें growth नहीं है? Any
Yeah,
example you can give?
runway and growth. Or if I have found a better opportunity, then surely I will shift.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
I am unmuted. Vinay Kumarji, you can go ahead with your question. Yeah,
Yes,
you're
sir.
audible, sir. You're
Yeah,
audible.
thanks for all the panelists and hosting this session. It was wonderful. I have question regarding the portfolio base. So we have so many category of stocks, right? One is the dividend yield. If you want to get a steady cash flow, I can go for high dividend yield stocks. Then you have compounders. Then you have defensive stocks. Then the micro cap or small cap, where we can buy and sit on the stock for a long term well. So if you want to build a portfolio for myself, what is the strategy we can think of? Just a thought process. If any of the candidates can address this or guide us.
Meet he wants to know how do you build your portfolio and what strategies to use.
Yeah, so basically we have different categories. Right? You have large cap, compounder, defensive, nifty, blue chip, dividend yield. So it's a strategy. So what is the best way you can think of from your side? The guidelines or the strategy or the asset allocation or the category wise? What should be the ideal way one can build a portfolio based on this category?
Okay. See, sir, a compounder or a demerger or a mega. Okay, if you understand some business, okay, you can definitely build your portfolio with those businesses. That's as simple as that. It's not about compounders or small cap or large cap or dividend yield. So it's all about understanding the business. If you have understanding of 10 certain business, then you can definitely build portfolio of such 10 stocks. It's all about understanding business and building a portfolio according to type. It's not about compounders or anything. We have certain titles for each and every stock or each and every category, but for me, it's all about understanding the business and making the best use of your allocation strategy. That's it. That's how you build portfolios.
So I understand that. I understand that. We have to understand the underlying business before we invest. And as long as the company is performing, we have to stick into that. So once we know that, okay, the business is not performing according to my expectation, we'll exit that. I understand that. The point is, right, from your side, like how you do when you build your portfolio. You might be having like some stock, like 40, 50 stocks. If you are a full-time investor, definitely one person should be having around more than 40, 50 stocks. Maybe because they might be also trying to create wealth in the long term, long run. Because you cannot create wealth, you cannot create wealth by buying very large companies. The real wealth you can create with small cap or micro cap, provided the underlying business is performing. At the same time, right, I cannot put my allocation more than like certain percentage to the mid cap or small cap. I have to allocate certain way to the large cap also. And then if I want to have a cash flow, then I may look for the dividend deal or I may go for the FD and all. So because if I restrict the portfolio,
What is the strategy like from your side, your experience, how you are building the
Okay,
portfolio?
sir, my portfolio is 50 to 60% is in core portfolio, and 15-20% is like special situation plays, and then rest are in mutual fund and PMS. So that is how I have placed myself. 50 to 60% core means in which almost all the businesses are well established and no hidden names, and 20% is where what I can say a satellite portfolio, where I try to generate additional alpha and feed my core portfolio with that satellite portfolio's gains. That's how I have built my portfolios. And sir, it depends upon your age as well. Now, if you are 60, 65 plus, then you should definitely bet on defensive stocks. And if you are 20 or 25, okay, or you are 30, you have good cash flows, or you have few years of compounding left with yourself, then you can definitely build aggressive portfolio, or a mix of defensive and aggressive portfolio. It depends upon many and varied factors. There is no one short answer, but yeah, if you are asking about myself, then yeah, my 50 to 60% is in core portfolio, established in names like yeah, United Spirits, ITC, HDFC Life, and rest 20-30% I play with uh, big shuttlebutt or special situation plays, and most probably in that two special situation plays where I find a good demerger or spin-off, or significant change in management patterns. That's where I focus, and the rest is mutual fund and PMS. So that's fine for me. So that is how I would place myself, kind of moderate, you can say.
I'll just add to that. So your portfolio allocation should depend on what your target return is. Let's say you have 5 crores today in total capital, and you want to double that in next 10 years. So that means you just need a return of less than 10%. If your return requirement is less than 10%, you won't go and invest into a small cap or a unknown company or any of that, because that means you will take more risk. You can just allocate to the index and still achieve your targeted return. So start with your targeted return. If your targeted return is, let's say, to 4 times your capital in the next 10 years, that means you will need more than 10%. So if you divide 72 by 4, which means you need about 18% CAGR per year. So start with what your requirement is. If your requirement is less than 10%, go with the index. If your requirement is more than that, then you have to adjust accordingly, and so on.
Yeah, thank you, Tariq bhai. Mid cap mantra, you can go with your question. Mid cap mantra.
I think he's on mute.
Okay. Devashish Kumari, you can go ahead with your question. Devashish ji, can you hear me?
Sir, am I audible, sir?
Very much, sir. Please go ahead.
सर मैं जो समझना चाह रहा था कि जैसे एक स्टॉक होता है और उसको हमने फंडामेंटल पैरामीटर्स पे उसको फाइंड आउट कर लिया, आरओई, आरओसी और लॉन्ग टर्म्स, जितने नॉर्मली सर पैरामीटर्स हम लोग देखते हैं, डेट, कंटीजेंट लायबिलिटी, इस तरह के ढेर सारे, और वो अच्छे हैं स्टॉक्स, बट वो सर हमेशा परफॉर्म नहीं करते हैं। मतलब एक कंसोलिडेशन का फेज होता है और फिर एक बूम फेज होता है सर, जिसमें वो 4x, 5x, 10x, 20x ऐसा बन जाते हैं। तो सर एक बेसिक आइडिया है, मैं बस ये चाहता था कि आप सर मतलब उसको वैलिडेट करें, या मेरी सोच सही है कि नहीं सर, बस वो जाने। जैसे कि वो कंपनी कैपेक्स प्लान सर अनाउंस करती है अपनी, और कैपेक्स के बाद उनके मार्जिन में फिर इंप्रूवमेंट होता है और फिर वहां से प्राइस जो है सर बिल्डअप होने लगती है। तो क्या हम ऐसा कर सकते हैं कि जब कैपेक्स एग्जीक्यूशन का लास्ट स्टेज होता है, से 2022 तक में कैपेक्स कंप्लीट हो जाएगा, तो 3-4 महीने पहले हम इन्वेस्ट करें, और फिर क्या वो मार्जिन, वो बेनिफिट हम ले सकते हैं, जिसमें वेट कम करना पड़ेगा और वो आ जाएगी, प्राइस में मूवमेंट आ जाएगी और हम उसको कुछ स्पीड अप कर सकते हैं प्रॉफिट वाले पार्ट को। ये करना ठीक रहेगा क्या सर?
Sir, basically you are saying that how to time a particular stock. Sir,
हाँ, एक कोशिश वैसी ही है सर. यस. हाँ सर.
sir, sir, if you can do it, it's great. But I think majority will fail. And sir, आप capex announcement हो रहा है, that is good. But it doesn't mean कि जिसका भी capex announce होता है वो अच्छा ही करता है. You need to check कि capacity utilization कितना है, capex कब complete होगा, क्या प्रोडक्ट बना रहे हैं, उसके नए मार्जिन्स क्या होंगे, उसके बाद बैलेंस शीट क्या दिखेगी. सो यू नीड टू प्ले द एंटायर गेम, पूरा रनवे से खेलना पड़ता है सर. इट्स नॉट दैट कि केपेक्स अनाउंसमेंट हुआ और 20-30% स्टॉक रन अप कर गया तो you exit or you buy on that front. It's definitely not easy, as you say, and it's definitely not my cup of tea. So I think sir, at a time karna it's very dangerous for your portfolio as well. This is what my general sense is. Gurmeet bhai, if you can add to this question, it will be very very helpful.
Yeah, thank you, Meet bhai. I think I agree with what you broadly said. I think capex alone is not the criteria, and market is a future discounting machine. So I'll give you an example. A lot of times, what will happen is that the stock goes up before capex, and post capex, the market may not react favorably because it could be an unrelated line. It could be a line where the market thinks that it's not going to add to the return ratios. So if you remember, I'll give you a recent example, again not a stock recommendation. Balakrishna Industries announced capex, right? And this was before the rally happened, that they were expanding the carbon black capacity, right? And that was not initially taken positively by the market, and then they had to come and clarify and say that this is the kind of backward integration they will have, and do that. A lot of APIs and CRAMS businesses initially ran up on capex, but then there were supply side disruptions, there were price disruptions. A lot of the API companies, now the capex is getting completed. There is a couple of companies where the phase one capex has happened. I will not take names. There are some chemical names, and the stock is actually now down. It becomes extremely difficult to do it only basis capex. I think what you should do is basically do three things which can help you stay long enough, because the market returns are not linear, and that's what makes this market very exciting. First returns comes, as Meet bhai said, is consistent growth in earnings, right? तो आप consistently अगर कोई company earning grow कर रही है, doesn't require more capital, the internal cash flows are running the show, you keep creating reserves, then money is again getting reinvested, and there is a virtuous cycle of return creation. The second is when the P multiple expands, when the market thinks that this boring guy or this company is doing this same thing consistently, multiplying money consistent, and that's when the P expansion happens. That's when the big money gets made, and suddenly the stock gets re-rated. So I'll give you an example. So ICICI Bank, there was a change of leadership. ICICI Bank was struggling at, it used to be valued at 1 book value, and you had private banks valued at 5 book value. Gradually, the turnaround started. The asset quality started improving. They started adding more retail to their loan book. They started focusing on credit quality. They went slow on corporate loan book. They started strengthening their, liability franchise. If you see the last quarter, they had the best ever quarter. उनका NIM अच्छा आया, उनका asset quality best ever आया पूरे decade में. Their CASA is actually better than HDFC. And now, and what happened, the market started recognizing this in 2019-20, and now it is continuing to bridge the valuation gap, and the initiative it is taking on digital. आप एक बार उनके portal पे जाके देखेंगे, the way their mobile app is, the iMobile app, they've added 4.5 million customers, NTB customers जैसे हम बोलते हैं, new to bank. They are using iLens to do digital lending. 80-90% of the retail loans are now digitally originated. उनका 100 से ऊपर fintechs के साथ partnership हो गया है, right? So I think it's a host of factors, the return ratios, what they are doing, adoption of technology, how they are trying to pivot the business. You need to take all of that into account, and to make money, you need to then stay invested for long in that, because we don't know when will that explosion in terms of market recognizing it will happen. It can, and when it comes in spurts. It doesn't give you too much time.
Thank you, Gurmeet bhai, for your valuable comments. Vipin bhai, you can go ahead with your question, please.
Yep, thank you. So like years ago, I bought this stock and I loaded up, okay, and it went well. I sold a portion of it, and I still had a portion of it. Now, the stock has actually gone down by 60-70%, okay, and it has been down at that levels for over 2 years. So what do I do? Do I just say, hey, I mean, screw it, whatever is gone is gone, and then reallocate the 30 percentage that's left in some better stock, or should I just hold on and go about it? Because I did analysis and I don't think the stock is going anywhere. It would be a miracle if the stock comes back. So should I just book my losses and then invest the rest 30 percentage in better assets? Is that what you would recommend, or would you how would you look at it? Basically, a framework should also help.
I guess, sir, you already have the answer in your question. You don't need to ask anyone. I think your company, you know much better than us, or anyone else who is present in this space, right? I don't know the name of the company. I don't know what the revenues are. I don't know what the management is doing. But your company, you know better than me. That is for sure. And you already told the answer, which is inside your question only. So I don't think so, sir, कि आपको ये question किसको पूछना चाहिए. I think that you have the answer, and you should definitely proceed with that.
No, so I mean, was there ever a situation like that in your life? Have you ever had to uh, book a loss and then just move on, like when it's a huge loss like this?
Yes, sir. I have mentioned that I have booked loss in Syntax, which is 100 bagger in reverse for me. So yes, sir. It's just part of the game. You just need to move on. You just need to learn that what went wrong and what went right, and you just need to focus on the broken pieces. That okay, ये गलत हुआ, तो next time I will be taking more care from this thing. That's it.
Thank you, Meet Bhai, for the answer. Guys, we will take just 2 3 questions more
One
because
last
Meet Bhai.
question, right? Because it's already 6:40, so I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know you have. I know you have a meeting in late hours. So Vijay Patil ji, you can go ahead with your question, please. Vijay Patil ji. No, I don't think it's audible.
Okay.
Yeah, I've unmuted expert voice. Expert voice, you can ask your question, please.
Yeah, thank you for giving me opportunity to ask question. I just want to know that like all are talking about long term and holding for long, and even we can see from last bull run when it started. I have been in from last 18 years in market. So I've seen bull run, half bull run of 2008, and then a downturn, and then again this bull run. So I'm having holding few shares from that time, and few has been multiplied by 10 times, 12 times, but few has been like zeroed, there is no value in that. So I'm not going to discuss any shares name, but the thing is that how can we toggle around between these portfolios and these shareholdings, and to monitoring how long we can put a bar, holding period, like 10 years, 15 years, or how long. So how you're going to do that?
Sir, there is no particular definition that how long one should need to hold their equity. It's just that as long as the company is performing, as long as the balance sheet and the vision of the company and management is intact and the runway is good, you can definitely hold the company. Yeah, of course, the evaluations are very subjective, so I cannot comment on it. But yeah, if the runway is long and there is still and the company has a lot of room for growth, then definitely you can hold on to yourself.
Akshay Batra ji, you can go ahead with your question. Akshay Batra, can you hear me?
Hello. Yeah, I'm audible.
Yes.
I first of all thank for giving the opportunity. As I'm a swing trader and mostly trade in equities, the problem lies with me that I'm a student and work with a very limited capital and deploy 30 to 35% of my capital on a particular trade. I analyze the stock and uh, on getting the opportunity, I enter the stock, enter the trade. But whenever my target is met, the stock boosts up, and due to the greed, I hold on that trade, but can't exit the trade when it starts falling off. And I met with a regret कि ये स्टॉक को मैंने निकाला क्यों नहीं ऊपर वाले प्राइसेस पे. So what is the procedure and how can we follow this psychology?
Sorry to interrupt you, but Meet Bhai, as he said earlier, also is not a trader. He never trades, so I don't think so. He would be able to answer your question. If you have any questions for investing, you can ask that, please.
Uh, okay, if any one of you can answer on this question, that I actually hold.
Basically,
Sorry.
if it's about timing the particular stock, then I think no one would ever be able to answer this question because nobody can sell on top or nobody can buy at the bottom. So that's very simple. It's all about your own investment thesis. That how have you placed your bets and what your thesis are. And see, if you are a trader, then I was reading a very beautiful book today, Trade Like a Monk by Harneet Bhai. So he told कि if you are trading, तो आपको अपने स्टॉप लॉस जो भी होता है, स्टॉप लॉस, टारगेट और आपका जो भी है, you need to write down everything. Once your target is met, you need to sell, or once your stop loss is hit, you need to exit. ठीक है, और उसको फिर वॉच लिस्ट से भी बाहर निकाल दो. You don't need to look at that stock again and again कि भाई मैंने 20% अर्न किया तो ये 25% उसके बाद अप हो गया या डाउन हो गया, राइट? सो there is a thing called discipline. It's nothing to do with trading or investing. I think it's more about doing with discipline and your ability to holding on to your discipline and your courage. That's the key part of it.
Yeah, I would just like to chime in here before we end the spaces. So I think अंकुश ने पूछा था क्वेश्चन कि अक्षय ने, किसने पूछा था? अक्षय ने.
Akshay.
So Akshay, normally what I do, and again this is not an investment advice of any kind, कि मैं ट्रेड करता हूँ एक ऐसे ब्रोकर के पास जहाँ पे वी कैन सेट द स्टॉप लॉसेस विच डू नॉट एक्सपायर फॉर अ ईयर. सो मैं जितने भी मेरे होल्डिंग्स हैं, मैंने उनमें सब में स्टॉप लॉस सेट करके रखा हुआ है, और लोग टाइम टू टाइम टारगेट्स को रिव्यू करते हैं, बट मैं अपने स्टॉप लॉसेस को रिव्यू करता हूँ. तो मेरे जितने भी होल्डिंग्स हैं उसमें अगर मेरे आज आप मान लो कि इफ आई एम होल्डिंग 100 स्टॉक्स इन माय पोर्टफोलियो, तो आई हैव 100 good till trade orders which are there in my portfolio, and as soon as the stop loss is hit, that order gets executed automatically without my portfolio taking damage, and I can be very objective about it rather than being emotional. And target meet होता है तो अच्छा लगता है, पर stop loss आपका अगर हिट हो जाता है, प्रॉपर स्टॉप लॉस हिट हो जाता है, तो वो थोड़ा बेटर रहता है. तो मेरा तो ये है. बाकी इफ यू आर अ ट्रेडर, आपको भी अगर ऐसा प्रैक्टिस फॉलो करते हो तो बहुत ही अच्छा है.
Thank
This
you.
is what I do personally.
Thank you, Ayush bhai. Thank you. We'll take the last question from Maulik Daveji. Please go ahead with the question.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity. My question is to a beginner in the investment in the market, and I do read the bulk deals and block deals happens on the daily basis. And in last month, in last week of the month previously, I saw that the investors like Dolly Khanna bought some of the micro cap stocks like the Ajanta Soya or Simran Farm, such like that. Should a beginner like me directly copy and invest into it? Looking into the stocks fundamental, it's trading at around below 10 P, and with the few of the good parameters showing on the ROC and ROE. Should a beginner like me completely blindly follow such deals, or avoid that?
Zafar bhai, I think you can best answer this question.
अभी एक्चुअली बीइंग अ बिगनर ना, स्टॉक मार्केट में कभी किसी को कॉपी करने की कोशिश नहीं करनी चाहिए. You try to learn from your own success and mistakes. ठीक है. Then you will automatically find कि what is the best way suited for your personality. अगर इनिशियली आप किसी को कॉपी करने लगते हैं, आपको पता भी नहीं होता है कि वो बल्क डील या ब्लॉक डील में जिसका नाम आ रहा है उसके पीछे, नाम आने के पीछे बहुत रीजंस होते हैं. एक तो सबसे पहले ये उसमें वन पॉइंट कुड बी कि कितना क्वांटिटी उन्होंने बाई किया है, उनके पोर्टफोलियो का कितना परसेंट एलोकेशन है. सपोज करो उनका पोर्टफोलियो 100 करोड़ रुपए का है और उन्होंने लिया है 10,000 रुपए का, तो उनको फर्क भी नहीं पड़ता है कि वो इन्वेस्टमेंट उनका जीरो चला जाएगा, उनको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. बट आपने सिर्फ वो देख के अगर बाई कर लिया और कुछ अच्छी क्वांटिटी खरीद ली अपने पोर्टफोलियो की, अच्छा एलोकेशन कर लिया और बाई चांस वो इन्वेस्टमेंट खराब चला गया, जो कि मतलब 40% पॉसिबिलिटी है कि आपके 10 में से 4 स्टॉक कभी परफॉर्म नहीं करते हैं, चाहे कोई कितना बड़ा इन्वेस्टर भी हो. तो आपको तो हिट लग जाएगी पोर्टफोलियो लेवल पे, लेकिन उन्हें फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. नंबर वन. सेकंड क्या होगा, आजकल ये बहुत ज़्यादा एक प्रेवलेंट है कि बहुत सी डील्स ऐसी होती है जिसमें कि बड़े बड़े इन्वेस्टरों का नाम उसमें दिखाया जाता है, उसको बोलते हैं नेम लैंडिंग. तो यू नेवर नो कि किसी ने अगर कोई बाई या सेल किया है बल्क डील या ब्लॉक डील में, तो उसके पीछे क्या रीज़न है. So it's a better to ignore all these things initially and build your own process based on the company fundamental, business profile, growth rate, etc. Okay.
Thank you, Zafar bhai, for your comments. Guys, that was the last question for today. And all of you guys who have requested to ask a question, you can see Micha's Twitter handle at the top of your screen. So you can directly ask him in Twitter by tagging him. So I would like to thank Abhishek bhai, Tariq bhai, and Zafar sir for your valuable insights. And Ayush bhai, over to you for closing comments.
I'll just like to give one comment कि वो मीत का हैंडल ऊपर दिख रहा है क्या? मिश्का, कैन यू कंफर्म?
Yeah, it's at
I
the
think it's there at the rate Meeta and capital V.
नहीं,
So it's
उसको आप
there.
लोग पिन कर दोगे एक बार वो हैंडल को, जैसे एक ट्वीट सुशील
नहीं
सर
नहीं,
का.
there is the link, मतलब वो
नहीं, आजकल लोग
ब्लू लिंक
स्मार्ट
है
है,
ना,
वो
तो
खोज
आप
लेंगे.
उसको
वो
क्लिक करके वो
ओके
खोल
ओके,
सकते हैं
ठीक
उसको.
है, बस
लोग
मेरा
बहुत
वही.
स्मार्ट है, वो मीट
because
को
Meet
घर
has
में
got
खोज लेंगे.
because Meet has got internet issues, so he's getting disconnected again and again.
ओके
Correct,
ओके,
correct.
चलिए.
Over to you, Ayush
थैंक यू
bhai.
फॉर द स्पेस. मजा बहुत आया आज. मेरे को भी अटेंड करके वाज वेरी नाइस. या
Yeah,
Thank
it
you,
was
Mishika.
very nice, and adding all the speakers का सबका review जो था, and Abhishek, Tar, Gurjeev, Ayush, Zafar bhai, Kedia sir, everyone was very unbiased at sharing their views. Also, I would like to share with the closing one important lesson that I have learned. It is very important to sustain in the market rather than profit or
आयुष, योर
loss पे
वॉइस बहुत
हमेशा
कम है.
ध्यान. Am I audible?
हाँ,
मेरी
सॉरी
आवाज आ
जफर
रही है
भाई,
क्या?
आप कुछ बोल रहे थे.
मैं बोला तुम्हारी आवाज सुनाई नहीं पड़ रही, तुम बोलते बोलते रुक गए या?
नहीं, मैं म्यूट पे चला गया था जफर भाई.
अच्छा अच्छा, ओके ओके ओके.
So जो मेरी लर्निंग जो रही है that मार्केट में अपना सस्टेनेबिलिटी बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है इवन दैन मेकिंग प्रॉफिट्स. तो सस्टेन करने के लिए हैविंग दैट appetite and patience is very necessary. So that is something that is a very important lesson to me also in the markets. So with this, I'll hand over to Ayush to end the session.
Thank you, Mishika, for hosting the
नहीं, you guys
spaces.
can end यार. You are hosting it. आप लोग करो end. हाँ.
No, I would like to request everyone, जो भी requested candidates हैं, please post your questions, nice questions to Meet on Twitter, and he'll be more than happy to answer you all. Thank you all, and that's all for today.
Correct.
And that's all for today.
That's all. You have been a very
गुरजीव,
good
जाते जाते कोई
audience
स्टॉक तो बता दो.
attending everything,
सर
and
क्या बोल रहे हैं सर?
yeah.
मैं बोला जाते जाते कोई स्टॉक तो बता दो.
अरे सर, आपके सामने मैं क्या बोल सकता हूँ सर?
अरे कुछ ही बोल सकते हो.
नहीं सर, आप टीचर के सामने स्टूडेंट क्या बोलेगा?
नहीं ऐसा नहीं है, कोई टीचर नहीं है, सभी स्टूडेंट है मार्केट में.
राइट सर, राइट.
एटलीस्ट मैं तो ये मानता हूँ कि मैं तो रोज सीखता हूँ, रोज गलती करता हूँ.
राइट सर, राइट. Guys, do post in your nice questions to Meet Bhai on Twitter, and he'll be more than happy to answer those. And Meet Bhai, you are back.
Thank
So
you.
any closing comments from you?
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining. This was my first Twitter Spaces. बहुत issue है, लेकिन friend, बचा लिया आप लोगों ने. What to say more? Mishka, Gurjeev bhai,
अरे
hi
एनी
fan,
टाइम.
and so that's very so sweet of you guys, really.
So you were getting disconnected again and again. That shows market is always volatile. Huh?
But I'm getting back. Ratan, मैं वापस आ गया. So it's all about survival.
मीत मैंने सिर्फ तुम्हारे लिए ज्वाइन किया है ट्विटर स्पेस, पता तुम्हारा? सिर्फ तुम्हारा नाम देकर तुम्हें सपोर्ट करने के लिए, ताकि तुम नर्वस ना हो.
अरे सर, आपको देख के ऐसे भी लोग नर्वस होते हैं सर. Don't say.
अरे
Thank you, Meet Bhai. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you
everybody.
everyone. Thank you Abhishek bhai. Thank you Tariq bhai.